Man, I don't know about y'all, but let me tell you who has been acting a fool all day after the Cowboys win, and Texas is back number one in the AP rankings. Welcome back to Overreaction Mondays here on the Coffee Chat with Chan. I'm Chan, a former sports reporter turned news anchor, overreacting on this Monday afternoon. First things first, we gotta talk college football. Before I get into the Cowboys, because you know I'm gonna talk about the Cowboys' big win over the Steelers, but first things first, let's get into all of the NCAA college football action that took place over the weekend. So Alabama managed to stay the number one team in the country for a grand total of a week before getting beat by Vanderbilt. This is the first time Vanderbilt has beat Alabama in decades. So Vanderbilt beat Alabama 40-35, and do not let that score fool you, because Alabama was not in this game from the very beginning. I have said it all season long. Alabama is not the same team that they were under Nick Saban. They're not the same team that won all those national championships that everybody was afraid of. Say what you want to. If you're an Alabama fan, I'm sorry for your loss this week. It's only going to get worse for you. Of course, Vanderbilt students lost it. Of course, they stormed the field and even took down the goalpost and went and threw it into the river there in Nashville. It was a wild evening for everybody there in Nashville. Those people are still celebrating, and I don't blame anybody in the entire state of Tennessee for celebrating this huge win, because Vanderbilt took down the number one overall team. And on behalf of Texas Longhorns and really the entire SEC nation, we thank you. So despite this loss, Alabama only drops to number 7. So my question for you this afternoon is, what do you think about this Alabama bias that happens within college sports? Do you think it's still a thing, or do you think that they should be number 7? Me personally, there is no way in this world that Alabama should be number 7 after losing to Vanderbilt the way that they did. And hear me out on this, because I'm going to break down the rest of the top 10 for you, because there was a lot of movement that happened with those top 25 teams, with several of them losing. SMU defeated number 22 ranked Louisville. Now SMU is in the top 25, sitting at number 25 for this week. Arkansas defeated number 4 Tennessee 19-14. Number 25 Texas A&M beat number 9 Missouri. They beat them 41-10, and that was another game that A&M completely handled from beginning to end. Number 8 Miami narrowly defeated Cal 39-38, and UW beat number 10 Michigan 27-17, the same UW team that just lost to Washington State University. So yeah, with all of this movement that happened over the weekend and a lot of the top teams falling, there is nothing and no one in this world that can make me think that Alabama deserves to be number 7 after getting beat and completely manhandled by Vanderbilt. At the very least, maybe in the 20s, I might give you the teens. I understand that they are a one-loss team, but you're a one-loss team to an unranked team. So either Alabama needs to be lower, or maybe Vanderbilt should be in the top 25. All right, enough talk about Alabama, because we don't need that kind of negative energy on Victory Monday for the Dallas Cowboys. That's right, the Dallas Cowboys defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers after their game was delayed for nearly an hour and a half. It was pretty wild. This is another one of those things I just personally believe every single NFL franchise needs to have a dome. If you've ever sat in a rainy game, a stormy game, a snowy game, you know exactly why I'm saying that. It's not fun. It's absolutely terrible. And it just doesn't make sense, especially when you have the Sunday night game being delayed for an hour and 30 minutes. Anyways, though, I digress. The Cowboys end up winning barely at the very last second there in the fourth quarter. Dak Prescott actually really put the team on his back, and anybody who has anything negative to say about Dak, even with those 2 interceptions in the game, I don't want to hear it today. He did everything that he possibly could have, considering that they were a short-handed team, of course, without Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence as well. Defense stood up and did so much more than I thought they were actually capable of doing. It was an incredible game, and even Stephen A. Smith had to admit so himself. Dak Prescott actually was able to throw a touchdown and an interception on 2 days in the same game, and Sunday was the longest day of NFL football since at least the 1970s merger. Of course, the day started with the Vikings beating the Jets in their game over in London, and then ended with the Dallas Cowboys defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers. In other NFL news, of course, the Giants went on to beat the Seahawks. Pretty surprised by that one. The Giants, when they played the Cowboys, did not look like a team who would beat, well, really anybody, but they somehow managed to beat a very short-handed Seahawks team who was missing about 5 people on their defense, so we got to give them a little grace there. The Bengals lost 41-38 to Baltimore in overtime, and then, man, I have never seen Joe Burrow and that team look worse. If you're a Bengals fan, I'm really, really sorry. All right, that's all for this Victory Monday overreaction here on the Coffee Chat. Hit that like and subscribe button for more overreactions every Monday following NFL football.